War never changes. When I went to bed, this was a Morrison's. No, I'm still here. Hello, it's me, Tim. I am in the Thanet Hoverdrome. So I did some research, I did some wikiing last night because I had some great reception. In fact, why wouldn't I, generally, given the state of modern technology and so on? Hell, I could have had great reception last night as well if I'd have bothered to turn on roaming. Yes, from 1965, a company called Hoverloyd, all one word, look it up on Wikipedia, this is the entry that I found all this in, operated 4 RNS4 hovercrafts from here. I forget the exact details because I can't read Wikipedia and film at the same time. Yes, they operated 4 large passenger hovercrafts here with the hope that there was some R6s coming or something, even bigger ones. So that ran from 1965 up to 1985. I guess falling demand and economic oil booms and whatnot taking their toll. They then merged with a company called Hover Speed that I do remember, actually, much more recent vintage. I don't know if Hover Speed are even still around anymore, probably not. But then they operated this site as a depot and maintenance yard and so on. I mean, it is huge, it really is large. And operated that for up until 1992 before abandoning it and then tearing down the buildings and letting it go to rubble. There's a sort of road-based on-ramp down that end that I didn't bother going to look at last night. We'll go out through that way probably. But yeah, this is like this is a big old car park you can see here. You know, we've already seen the ramp, the on-ramp there. There's another ramp on the far side, presumably to go out with, and the big apron that they would have worked around, and there would have been a row of buildings along the centre. And if I were wild camping here, which I totally didn't, then I would have found that that section where the row of buildings were is actually not as bad as this for pushing pegs through. Although, as I might have anticipated and probably did, it's quite rubble-strewn earth, mostly made up of detritus and rock, and not very easy to put pegs into, and they don't go in very far either. Still, I have paid for worse campsites. Porthleven springs to mind. So, yeah, this is my last day, the morning jogger. Too late, I'm doing nothing, mate, I'm just standing here. Yeah. There's the sunrise for you Helio fans there, Heliophiles. Yeah, so yeah, the tent stayed up, although I totally didn't sleep in it. Despite having a shattered rear pole, just kept a sort of weird warped shape, and the pegs managed to hold it into position and keep it upright. I mean, if there was any serious wind last night, I might have been in trouble, but we're okay. And that's it, done. I mean, I've packed it up and packed it away and stowed it on and everything, because, you know, I'm not the sort of savage that leaves a wrecked tent in the middle of a park or festival after I'm done with it. It'll come home in a position of honour on top of my rucksack, having served me well for getting on for 5 years now. I mean, I only did 1 week in that awful black coffin tent, and I've been using this tent ever since. So it has done me well. It's gone. That's a replacement set of poles that's now sheared as well. So I think its time has come. They don't do the parts or poles for it anymore. I'd have to botch up some kind of replacements that wouldn't properly work, and it only actually cost 40 quid in the first place. So I think I've more than had my money's worth. I highly recommend those, but obviously they don't do them anymore, so there's not much point recommending them. I need to go and look for a new tent now over winter, so I'm ready for next time, ready for May, do some research, etc. Yeah, so today is the last day. It's a Thursday instead of the Friday I was originally projecting, bringing my holiday down from 7 days to 6. Which, I don't know, I get some petty sense of small personal achievement from that, but it needn't necessarily be in that way. I'm just very bad at sitting still for long periods of time in any one place, so I tend to keep walking and then suddenly find I can, if I just walk a little bit harder, go home a day early and play computer games for a day. Lovely. For those who are interested, I'm currently into Deep Rock Galactic. It's very good fun, even in predominantly single player actually, but played it co-op with some friends now and then as well, and that's also a laugh. Very enjoying that a lot. Dabbling with Destiny 2, yeah, I don't know, it comes and goes, that one. Very high production values, but just something about it that doesn't draw me in for the long haul, you know. Possibly their quite exploitative season pass payment scheme. Anyway, I'm waffling about computer games. Probably anyone who follows me for computer game chat is probably long gone by now. So today we go up that hill along those cliffs over to Ramsgate, which you can see there, the port of. I don't know if we go down into it, we'll probably go along the cliffs above it. That's the Isle of Thanet, that whole big chalk excrescence. We're going to circumnavigate it. It will take about 10 miles, which will probably take me about 4 or 5 hours, I expect. And it is going to be about 7:30 by the time I finish yattering here and set off. Got a couple of bags of crisps in my pocket from yesterday. I might start the day with those. So yeah, basically Ramsgate, Broadstairs along the centre of the bulge, and then Margate itself just round the hook on the top. I don't really know much about any of these places. We'll see as we go, I expect. We will see the North Sea though for the first time in my adventurings. I started essentially on the south shore of the Severn estuary in Minehead. The Bristol Channel filters out into the sea. That then becomes the Atlantic, which we saw quite a bit of on the north coast of Cornwall. Round the corner there, then we ended up looking at the Solent, the British Channel, and then the Solent halfway along. And this is technically the Straits of Dover, I suppose. But yeah, around the end of there, we'll be into the North Sea and the Thames estuary. North Sea briefly, and then the Thames estuary for quite a lot of next time, I think. But yeah, so it's been a good trip. I think the feet are okay. Like I say, lying down for 10 hours does help. Just not walking on them, you know. But I think I'll be hobbling around for a bit for a couple of days when I get back. Feeling the start of a minor heel blister, which is surprising because I really didn't think I got those anymore. But basically the underside of my feet has become kind of really solid, thick, hide almost now, because just the continual hiking and blistering and re-blistering and re-blistering that I've been doing over the years. I don't really get blisters as such. I'm wondering if it's because I've got different socks on now, experimenting with some new different brand of socks, different thickness. Perhaps that's starting to chafe a little bit in places. I think that's the one thing I've learned really about foot care for hiking is once you've found a good boot and a good sock and everything that fit, don't change them. That's what does it, because what blistering essentially is your foot slightly adapting ablatively to the conditions, the boot and the sock. So once you've got ones that work and fit and stuff, hang on to them for as long as you can. Right, okay, enough yattering, the sun's up, it's time to get moving. I'm going to pack my stuff up, just put my coat on my bag there, hoist up and start on that way. Predicting roughly 1 o'clock finish today. Should give me plenty of time to navigate central London by train. I don't know how long it's going to take, probably about an hour and a bit to get to... I think I'm coming in on St Pancras or Farringdon from this end. I don't know, I've never really travelled this part of the world before. I went out on Victoria. Well, actually no, I went out by Clapham Junction and then circled round, so Croydon way. But I need to get to Paddington, it's my line, Thames Valley. And I think they are quite opposite sides of London, so I'm going to have to muck about with the tubes and stuff. But I don't mind if I catch COVID or something now, because holiday's over. It's not it's just going to be time off work, not a ruined holiday. So that was my main worry on the way up here, trying to get to Eastbourne actually through London. I thought, oh God, I don't want to do Circle Line, and this was, 2 days into the queue. The massive queue for lying in state. I mean, it was basically a bad time to be in the centre of London at all. So, but I managed to luck out and sort of swing round Clapham Junction, round to Croydon and then down. So, but I can't see any around London route available this time. I'm going to have to cut through the middle. But that's okay. That's okay. If I catch any lurgy on the train, that's fine. I can just work it off. It's not going to jeopardise me. I'm not going to come down with some debilitating flu-like ailment in the middle of some fen in the middle of nowhere. That's the main thing. I can be a bit less worried about biosecurity on the way home. Right, enough chatter. Let's bag up and head on. Probably find a coffee once somewhere's open. So I've got about an hour, I suppose, until anything's reasonably open. I'll probably be in Ramsgate by then, so that's okay. Ramsgate for breakfast. Maybe find a croissant or something. And Americano. Don't ask for a bloody cappuccino. I don't like cappuccinos. They're just like milk with a suggestion of coffee, served deceptively hot with a sort of foam insulative layer on the top, so that you go, ooh, look, that looks like a milkshake, and you go, next thing you know, you've got burnt tongue. So yeah, war never changes. Alright, here we are, back to it. Found one of those again. Looks like we're still on signage. I don't see why that would suddenly stop before Margate. Guess we go over there next. Danger Cliff Falls. Keep away from it. Yeah, not my first rodeo. Yeah, so farewell, Thanet Hovedrome. It's quite surprising actually that all that dereliction only took place in the last 30 years. 30 years since it was a thing being used. Seemed like much longer. It's surprising no one's come along and just torn it all up either. I suppose it's fine as it is, it's not in anyone's way. Because I mean, pretty much all this bird sanctuary area is a bird sanctuary area. Yeah, I mean, you can see the map here. Hang on, let's show you this. We've got one here. No dogs at all, any time of year, leash or none. Yeah, that whole red area essentially is a kind of preservation area for birds. National Nature Reserve, Sandwich and Pegwell Bay. Some QR codes there. Does that even work through a YouTube screen? Probably not if I don't focus. I'm in the wrong focus mode. Never mind. But you can always Google using keys and fingers. Yeah, you can see the bloody peninsula is on the far side there. That's Deal Pier. You can just about make it. I'm going to have to go back in zoom mode. Hang on, back in a minute. Okay, and we're back. So yeah, Deal Pier. That concrete thing we were on yesterday. On the far side. It's quite far away now. It's quite misty as well today, which doesn't help. Not sure I can even see the Dover cliffs and things, St Margaret's Bay and whatnot. Must have come around the corner from there. There's your big, ominous, mysterious factory complex. Yeah, odd. I mean, there wasn't one big factory. There was lots of different units. I think one of them's an incinerator, but not sure about the rest of it. I think one of them was making biomass, biofuels from like logs and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Right, time to crack on. Back on the path. That's very cool. Campanile style. Like a Rodney Matthews picture. So, Pegwell Bay Hotel. And here we are. Wow, already we've made some tracks. Start the day with a long amount of walking. So I'll follow this up and through, I suppose. Can't imagine anything's actually open yet. Doesn't matter, I don't need anything just yet. Ah, sun! It burns us! Yeah. Glassy calm morning. And this is I don't know, it's not even that sheltered a bay particularly, it's just really quiet. So this is lovely little bit of early morning parkland. Dog walkers and me basically. I think this is coming into the western end of Ramsgate. There was a path that went under a little tunnel there and ended up down on this like boardwalk type of promenade boardwalk. Where am I? America? Promenade, yeah. The path said to stay up here, so it's fine. I'm fine with that. Might just sit on a little bench for a moment and have some crisps. Just enjoy it today. Try not to overdo it because there's literally nothing to be gained. I mean, even dawdling, I'm likely to get home today, you know, for trains and stuff, so there's no real benefit in powering on today. No more contraction to do, no more time to be saved particularly. It just means I get a slightly earlier train. It's all much of a muchness. So yes, that's nice. I can finally relax on my holiday. You watch, I'll sit on this bench for like 8 minutes and then I'll be off. So that's Ramsgate. I don't know if I sailed from here or not, ever. That was a complicated day. Me and my dad were going to Belgium to look at Ypres and some of the First World War paraphernalia, sites of interest and such like. And I don't know, we went to Dover, and it turned out there was some sort of dock workers strike in Calais, as is often the case. And we ended up coming up to here to find an alternate ferry, but then we found out they only like to do one a day from here and it had already gone. But the woman in the desk here told us that actually also some of the stuff going from Dover goes to ports other than Calais. So I think we went back to Dover and then got on a ferry to like Ostend or Dunkirk or something. Yeah, that was a strange day. So I have been here briefly once before, possibly never actually even sailed from here. So, but yeah, there's the port down there. We'll get a better view of that as we go, I expect. Oh, a proper road tunnel going underneath here somewhere as well. Where that comes out. I don't know, I'm all for memorialising and so on, but there comes a point when it becomes less of a park and more of a graveyard. In memory of Kathleen Walker-Smith, thoughts of you will hold us close. There's a picture, like a laminated plaque. Loving wife, mother, nanny and sister, forever in our hearts. So yet again, an entire woman's life described in terms of adjunctive functionality to other people. Goodbyes are not forever, goodbyes are not the end. They simply mean I'll miss you until we meet again. I can't even read that script font on the angel there. There's like a bit of slate with a heart there, some flowers. I mean, that's touching and all, but I just don't want to sit on that, frankly. I'm trying to find a less ornate example somewhere. There we go, it's a bit more traditional. In memory of Mary Palmer, dear love. Dear love's the name? Always on our mind and forever in our heart. Love, Barry, John, Julie, R.I.P. Yeah, simple, succinct, to the point. Doesn't freak people out who might want to actually sit on it. I like it. I'm going to do that right now. Loving this sculpture, by the way. I don't even know what's on the plaque, but that does look like the sort of sculpture you'd find in the lobby of a international criminal terrorist organisation, or a large pharmaceutical company, or both. In fact, I think you can probably see a Pfizer building behind them. Oh, there's all sorts of meaning and nuance here that I'm just not going to bother looking at. I'm just going to stare at the sun like an idiot. Eat some crisps. Yeah, I was right. Funded by Pfizer. Had to go back and look at the plaque. Yeah. Onward. It looks pretty desolate down there actually. That car park's all fenced off. I don't think any ferries run from here anymore. Concrete blocks on the approach roads, exit roads. I mean, Google not listing any sort of dotted line sea lane routes from here at all. Lists about 5 from Calais, from Dover there. Calais just being one of them. Maybe this is the port of Ramsgate in name only now. Yeah. Yeah, more I look, closer I get, that looks like an abandoned terminal building. That was where I went in to check the sailing times. They were down to only about 2 a day then. That was about a decade ago. Yeah, interesting. Right, I guess we can carry on along the top here. Ooh, exercising people. I could tell you about exercise. Yeah, a while since anyone's caught a boat to Ostend from here. There's a sign saying Ostend on the far side on the plaque, on the fence, but just overgrown. I mean, they've still got some sort of ramp. I don't even know if that's functional or whether they just left that there. Too much hassle and cost to dismantle. Don't know. I mean, there's a proper sort of working boat harbour this side, fishing vessels and yachts and marina and things. So something of a marine culture still here, but not as an international ferry port. You can see why. I mean, Dover's only 20 minutes drive from here. And then when the Channel Tunnel opened, I suppose demand here slacked off entirely. I mean, the Channel, Dover to Calais is only 45 minutes on the boat. That's 20 minutes drive from here, whereas here to Ostend, I think it was about 4 hours probably you're looking at. And to be honest, you could get to Calais and then make up the time on the auto route in France on that side. So yeah, just no call for it, I guess. There's bits and pieces going on here. I don't know what that yellow one is. Some sort of working boat. Off to look at wind turbines or something maybe. Like the blokes with hard hats and all overalls getting on it. Yeah. Right, this looks like Ramsgate proper. I might try and find a coffee or an ice cream. Actually, it's never too early for a Mr. Whippy, is it? Start the day as you mean to go on. Whatever. I mean, I just had some crisps and things, but could do with a good coffee, good caffeine drink and a sit down. Don't really need to sit down, but you know, taking it easy today, or at least trying to. Yeah. And then push on up the coast, I guess, around the corner. This is all quite ornamental. Ramsgate in bloom. Descending down to the harbour now, I think. I think I'm still on the right path. I haven't seen a sign in a while, but just keep the sea on your right, you'll be okay. It's like a bit more touristy, shoppy stuff's down there. Lovely. More of this stuff. I suppose if you've got the capital, building loads of this kind of things while everything else is going to hell is a smart move, because on the assumption that someday things will recover. And of course, if things never recover, well, then we're all off to Mad Max land and it doesn't matter. This is Ramsgate's seafront. A bit of Golden Beach. Static ping pong table with what looked like gunfire. Bullet impaction on the... Wow, this tennis table must have been here since World War II. I've seen some hard volleys. Massive chips taken out the top. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to go that way. See if one of these places opens as I wander past. I think this is me anyway. A bit of promenading going on. It's quite easy to lose trails in towns like this. You have to rely on common sense and keep your eyes open. Often those signposts turn into stickers rather than signs, but they've already built 3 of these things already. Presumably there's decent occupancy. I have no idea. Don't really care, to be honest. Sun's up nicely now. Yeah, that's them. I saw all them loading on that boat, all in the overalls and hard hats. I reckon they're off to yonder wind farm to go and, I don't know, oil some bearings or whatever it is that need doing with those things. It's a moving part, a wind turbine, so presumably sooner or later it's going to wear something out. Bearings, motors, coils, whatever. It's not totally free energy forever once you've built it. There's certain maintenance involved. Same with solar panels, really. They go after a while, I'm sure. Need cleaning, that sort of thing. Still, probably cheaper than anything else. Oh, good. Coming around the corner now. Out of Pegwell Bay. Onto just the, well, could call it the channel, could call it the North Sea, really. Certainly the interface, the junction. Right. Ramsgate tunnels, which I'd never heard of and which are closed, and some very colourful stairs which I hope I don't have to use. Still looking for signage. I'm going to assume straight on. It does look like it does carry on that way. I don't think I really need to be up on top of there particularly. Good. It's made my day a little bit brighter. Well, I was going to have to climb up there somehow at some point, but no, looks like we have quite a lengthy undercliff promenade. A bit of wild camping there. Not my choice of spot, to be honest. Too much cliff, too close to the sea. Let's do it with the bike. With the solar panel. Yeah. Ooh. Another one over there as well. Right, let's take a ticket. Now I'm done with all that now. No more of that for me this week. All year, in fact. Worry about it again in spring. Oh, these are quite big tents. Not sure how wild camping those are, to be honest. More like permanent residency. It's got a deck chair. It's not very portable. Oh, horses for courses. And that's high tide as well. Does look like I'm going all the way back to those shelters and finding some stairs after all then, yeah. Oh well. Good job we got time today. No way up there. Not sure there's any way round, to be honest. Maybe if the tide was out, must be some way up further along, but all in all, a bit of a gamble. But I hate to ruin a good holiday by dying on the last day. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of traversable around there, but I don't know that there's a way up particularly until... Well, right on that far one, actually, I can see a promenade on there, but getting to it, it's going to be a bit dicey. That water is right up against that rock there. I mean, there's footprints, but that's still coming in. That looks of things, or more or less at high tide. Yeah. Nah, I'll go back and look for a way up. I think it's not that kind of scrambly holiday. We'll just see what we can see back near the stairs. There were some stairs just the other side of those shelters, I think. So we'll do that, and then all will be well again. Ew. Surprisingly benign steps. Quite shallow. Also, these cliffs aren't huge, so that helps. Just a little bit out of breath. Alright, let's go this way then, as I imagine we probably should have been going all along. Look at this. Lovely little cliff-top park for the dog walkers. And a cafe that does look open. I think I might take a little break here after the stairs and abortive promenading. Yes, yes indeed. Got everything I need. Splendid. There's a toilet there as well. I might be able to fill the water bottle. Not too worried about that today actually, because one of the reasons I didn't want to camp anywhere around here is because there's just so much stuff. So it shouldn't be too hard to find drinks in shops all day today, I think. Alright, enjoy all this lot and then move on. Mad. I mean, in about the 10 minutes or so I sat there drinking that cup of coffee, I see about 30 dog walkers. It's obviously quite a popular spot. This is, you know, got 9 o'clock, these people should be at work. Don't know, is Thanet particularly mad for dog ownership? I was reassessing my, assessing again my relationship with dog walkers. Might seem like I'm quite animosity filled towards them, but antagonistic is probably the word, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, from a practical perspective, they're the ones that are most likely to disturb me when I'm doing the necessary with the tent, but in a place like this, a park like this, they've got way more right to be here than I have. I mean, I'm going to come through here once ever, probably. They're here every day. Possession's 9/10 of the law and so on. I think on the whole, dog walkers are like anyone else, you know. Some of them are lovely and some of them are absolute bastards, and most of them are absolutely and definitely moving objects in my field of vision. So, you know, make of that what you will, but it's compounded by the fact that the dogs have their own personalities, air quotes, as well. And that's a problem, because I reckon probably half, maybe, of all the dogs I see accompanied by a human in a park are just doing whatever the hell they like. Nobody really trains their dogs properly, you know, to walk, to heel, to come, to sit, to beg, roll down, whatever, roll over. So you end up with dogs just wandering around doing whatever the hell they like, and that's, you know, irritating, because they come up and start sniffing, you know, want to know what you're eating, etc, etc. But in a small percentage of those dogs, that becomes downright dangerous, because they're big, aggressive, fast dogs and like to bark a lot, get quite territorial of stuff that doesn't actually belong to them, etc. And half the time the owners are sort of paralysed with ineffectuality. They're just sort of there shouting away, just yelling some name over and over and over in the park in the hope that the dog decides to listen, understand what the owner wants and obey, you know, which are often rare things. Keep them on leads, I say, but then you get these ones with the extendable leads as well. They're my favourite, where there's some pensioner shuffling along with the dog on an extendable lead, and the lead is about 20 metres long and the dog is on the opposite side of the pavement, making a kind of garrote-like structure. Highly irritating. Right, I'm assuming this is all still me. I'm following some signs for the See It All walk. Explore Kent, which I suppose means you get to see the sea and all of it, which is sort of what I do. I haven't seen the English coast path signs in a while, but there's only really one way to go, so we'll do that. Yeah, I think I would have needed to have hooked around there somehow. Like I say, at low tide I'd have probably given it a go, but then again at low tide I wouldn't have found that cafe with the ice cream, so there you go. Is that serendipity or providence? I can never remember which is which. Good luck either way. Right, I think we're coming up on Broadstairs. It's about the halfway point of today, to be honest, and it's about 9:30. So yeah, I've been going about 2.5 hours, no, 2 hours I think. So 11 o'clock, no, it can't be, it must be about a third the way around then so far. Not that fast, surely. But yeah, a third of the way around or so. I think I might stay up if the opportunity avails. Then we're climbing for a bit. Seriously, I don't get it. Like, I've seen about 5 people since Ramsgate who don't have dogs with them. It's quite unnerving, getting a sort of Stepford, Children of the Damned vibe. Toy dog to stick out the top of the backpack next time.
Got to do that. So let me explain a little bit more here.
He's swept up in an old folks walking tour there. Chap there seems much more confident at making up his facts than me. That's okay. I think if you people wanted facts, you're with the wrong walking guide here. We mostly deal in fiction here. For example, did you know the entire Isle of Thanet is the back of a giant turtle? It died 1 million years ago, preserved in stone, fossilised, and then they built a village on top. Yeah, true fact. So I think this is Viking Bay. So this is essentially the beach access to Broadstairs, which is predominantly more inland, I think. But I could be making that up. Do you see how this works? Yeah, just keep on trudging around really. Not sure there's anything major between Broadstairs and Margate now actually. Might be a small village or two north and around the coast. More headland stuff I think. A little bit more wild, but obviously less than an hour's walk from my train home. Probably not much use as a campsite. I don't need to worry about campsites now. But this is nice. Nice little whatever on the end there. Roman baths, I think. I could do this all day. I'm going to get on with some walking before I annoy anyone. This is nice. Almost Padstow-like. I haven't seen any England coast path signs for quite a while, but I'm seeing this See It All walk, which I guess functions as the same thing at the moment. Viking Coastal Trail, yeah, route number 15. Let's give it a go. Yeah, around here. Charming. Yeah, it seems like it checks out. Looks a bit terminal. It's definitely not down there. That all looks a bit dangerously cut off at high tide type of terrain. There's no way through the end of here. I guess we're back up to there and then hang a right at where that van's come from. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. Going on a little bit of an inland detour then by the looks of it. It's okay. All gets there. Oh, it needs to be in focus mode, don't it? Hang on. There you go. Hey Martin. Trying to talk to my listeners, followers, people, casual passers-by, whatever you people are. Future alien archaeologists. There we go. So yeah, this is where we have to go inland. Obviously the foreshore gets a bit restricted over here. So we're now on this orange road here. And come up there, just come to the top of this corner. So we need to trudge along this orange road until we go past the lighthouse, then we can rejoin again. Okay, and then it's round to North Foreland, which all looks a bit, well, foreshorey. That's nice. Nice gap between the sea and the houses. Most of the way around. Miniature golf course, fantastic. Hope I'll be able to see it. and then boom, ta-da! I mean, we're talking hours now, really. And almost nothing controversial or weird between here and my goal, which I believe is this red dot here, Margate station. So I shall probably use the slipway and bathing pool as my marker, and all that is for the spring. Right, so I suppose we technically turn the corner at Kingsgate. At this point we're on to the North Sea, yeah. But pretty much by the time we're through this housing area. Blimey. It's been a long way. No, stop that. Yeah, good. Right. I expect I shall have all sorts of profound signings offs to do, but there's still a couple of hours to go yet. Northforeland Lighthouse. Guarding the mouth of the Thames, I imagine. Wow. Two guys out there actually painting it. That's lighthouse keeping. They're probably a third-party contractor. It's got all the glass and things in the top. Maybe it does actually work. Don't know. Anyway, it looks like we can see the sea. I think we might get a right turn and some cliffs in a minute. Good. Can't see the path I was expecting. Up there, maybe? Oh, that goes to the same place in the end, down to this car park. Just take a little shortcut, why not? That's the edge of that field of kale. Well, it's doing well. It's quite sheltered here. Yeah. Is that kale? I think it's kale. Too grey and big and hard for spinach. Yeah. Coming on round. Oh, go on then, just one more golf course. For old time's sake. Get around it to the right there, up to that castle-like arrangement on the top, I think. Good. Kingsgate Bay, I think. There's a lot of gates around here. I suppose it makes sense in a way. Gates to the rest of the world, gates to the Thames, gates to Britain. Bad. There's a gate over there. Well, more an arch, I suppose. Just come around this. Hang on. Walking. Oh yeah, avian influenza. There's been bird flu all along this coast. I've been trying to avoid stepping in dead birds, you know, as you do. Yeah, a little arch there. I must make a point of not walking on top of that bit if the path goes up that way. Captain Digby. Sounds like a pub, looks like a prison. See what the deal is. Oh, we know what the deal is, we've done that. Yeah. So I reckon it's this Viking trail all the way back now. It's cycle route number 15. For you bike fans keeping score. And yeah, this concrete surface, a bit jarring on the shoes, on the feet, but can't argue with the mileage and the good going. Golf. Hello, my nemesis. Yeah. Trying to work out which one I dislike more, golf or dog walkers, or sailing clubs. I think sailing clubs has got to be a third. I think golf or dog walkers. Yeah, hard to know. They each infuriate in different ways. It's a bit like comparing apples full of spikes with pears full of orange staples or something. Yeah. Neither really I like the best. Still, they're just doing their thing. All this pent-up aggression and rage is entirely my own fault, my own devising. Look, there's a second wind farm there. Not in zoom mode, okay. Take my word for it. It's entirely distinct and separate to the one we've been tracking around the coast so far. Wow, look at that. That was part of the inland detour, was it? Oh yeah, just a little place by the coast, you know, beach hut basically. Castle thing here, inside the golf course, of course. I mean, look at them, they're not even carrying those bags of golfing sticks. I'd have more respect if they did. Actually, I don't think they're even pushing those bags of golfing sticks. I think they've got like little motors and little controls on the handle. Yeah, tut. No plaque. I'm genuinely interested in this one. Looks old. guess I'll have to check my map at some point, maybe they'll have a clue or two. Yeah. A bit of foreshore housing. Trying to work out from the angle of the sun if we've turned east yet. I think we might. Don't know. Yeah, I think we're heading sort of northeast. Oh well, that's right. We'll see Margate in due course. For now, I'm just going to enjoy this bench-laden foreshore. Right, that is definitely the North Sea. Go far enough that way and you'll come to, I don't know, the Arctic Circle, I suppose. Norway and Sweden, somewhere over there. Yeah, and that looks like Margate, journey's end. For this week at least. Don't know if I can literally see where I'm going to stop or whether it's just around the end of what I'm looking at there, but either way, about half an hour's determined yomp away. That's good. Just a whole load of foreshore and then down into the town. It's the Margate wastewater pumping station apparently. Stinks, as you might imagine. There's obviously something wrong in there as well. There's a whole load of work vans and contractors and stuff. All having their lunch break at the moment, but yeah, all is not well at the Margate pumping station. But yeah, there it is. After about 5.5 days, I suppose. What time are we looking at now? Yeah, it'll be about 11:30, maybe even 12 by the time I get in there. So actually, in spite of everything, still managed to shave some time off today as well. Oh well, I'm going to sit down for a bit now anyway, but oh yeah, it's all just been cycle track all the way from Ramsgate really. It's Viking way. Lost the signs. I suppose it must get quite confusing having like 8 or 9 different footpath signs all on the same lamppost. So if you're following an existing route, you might as well just hope people can tell and know that they should be following this one now. Yeah, it's all just parkland. A bit of a breeze on the end here. Head on down into Margate. Actually, sorry, I don't know where that came from. I don't know what the local regional accent is. I try not to talk to people if I can help it. Danny Dyer's Coastal Britain. It's just walking, you muppet. Yeah, that tower block. You can see that in the centre of the horizon, not in zoom mode again. I could see that quite clearly from the other side, from down coming up through Pegwell Bay. So yeah, Thanet itself is not a huge place. Quite easily circumnavigable in a day, I'd imagine, if I wanted to go back round the other side via inland or something. Good, alright, shoulders aching a bit. Don't worry, soon can sit on a train and then go home. A long hot bath. And sleep in my own bed. I mean, that's, largely the thing I learn when I go out on these trips. What have we learned this week? Well, I've learned that I like my bed still. Camping never gets any more comfortable or easy. Unless you're talking glamping, but you might as well just drag your furniture on holiday with you at that point. It's not the point. The point is to travel, not to sleep. The sleeping is a means to an end. It's the going thereof that is the point. I've been going well this week. Right, yeah, there's you on down. Keep on, get that last half mile or so done. Yeah. So, turns out according to Google there's still another 2 miles to go to where I need to be. I've reached Margate, but Margate's probably quite long. That's fine. It's like 11:39 and I really don't have a specifically booked train or anything, so just whenever I get there, to be honest. So took the opportunity to sit in the cafe there, get a drink and a lolly, and I'm ready for the final straight. Push on to the beachy bit near the train station. Don't know the names of any of these things. Enjoy this summery afternoon. My feet are throbbing. Probably wouldn't want to do another day. Well, I mean, if I'd have done the original plan, I probably would have put less wear and tear on the feet anyway, but you get the idea. I wouldn't want to do another 20 miles, let's put it that way. No, that's all next. That's all next. So from Margate station eastward, that will be in spring 2023, next year. First week of May generally I try for. Usually ends up coinciding with the first night out is the night of the Eurovision Song Contest. Yeah, and that's going to be a week of trying to get to Dartford and the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge. The large connecty dual carriageway over the Thames. It's the first bridge over the Thames I could use on foot. And yeah, it's going to be a week of trials and tribulations and weird routes and oil refineries and detour inland rivulets and all sorts of things, zigzagging like we did the day before yesterday, and a lot of access permissions, a lot of marsh, a lot of fens. A bit grim, a bit more grim than this glorious south coast we've been dealing with, starting inland. So I honestly hope the signage is going to be up to par, because it's going to be quite tricky otherwise. But that's a problem for next year anyway. Let's finish this trip first. I mean, all these e-bikes everywhere these days, making everyone look superhuman when you're walking along the cycle path. Start feeling like I'm letting the side down somehow. Like I need some kind of high-powered all-terrain rollerblades or something. That'd be the way. Just gliding along in a really eerie manner. Right, I think I want the other side of that big old white building there. We'll see. Yeah, like many other modern seafront towns, seen better days. Still struggling to work out what it is now, I suppose. Sea is not enough on its own anymore. There's a distinct harbour smell here. Rotting seaweed, love it. So there's Margate pier, wharf, harbour, I guess. You can see a sort of squarish swimming pool thing, not in zoom mode, which marks where I need to head inland, which I think might be there, just next to the right of that big office block thing. That might be the station I'm looking for, somewhere in there. So probably if I limp my way around to that sort of white restaurant van thing, I think I'm probably where I can draw a line in the sand and say done. Stops here, starts here again tomorrow, next time, tomorrow, whenever. Not tomorrow, definitely not. May. Right, let's just work on round there. It's gone a bit past 12, come to the key clock there. Yeah, a little bit of a hobble, and then we're done. Oh, very, very pleasing, very, very satisfying, personally. I don't know about you. It's largely indifferent from your perspective, I imagine. Yeah, all very odd. Well, that's quite odd as well. I see that a lot where in my neck of the woods. The coasts in the south with the Solent and stuff, just fish shops and stuff on the shoreline. But there's loads of people with sketch pads, obviously doing art, and I thought this looks a bit familiar, this view. And then look, I noticed over there, Turner Contemporary, free admission. So obviously a big Turner connection there. Is it J.M. Turner? W.M. Turner? Famous painter. And I thought, I recognised some of these huts and that landscape. And it turns out I'd watched, I think BBC4 were doing some Britain's Next Great Landscape Painter or something. Frank Skinner was presenting it. And he set them a challenge by basically bringing his contestants all up to here and getting them to paint that view over there. And I was thinking, oh, what are they going to do with that tower block? A lot of them just omitted it completely. Yeah, well, there we go. The culture to round off the day. Right, I need to just get on and finish now, really, I think. It just went clang, but it's not doing it now. Oh, busy looking place. Probably quite iconic. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. There we go. That's the station over there. Mission accomplished. Pretty much bang on time. And bar any last minute unusual train strike, flash strike or something, I think I can go over there, and that's my ticket out of here. So yeah, here I leave you. Not just for this week, but for the rest of the year as well. Yeah, thanks for watching up to this point. So it is a source of personal endurance and reassurance to know that future alien archaeologists sifting through the shattered ruins of the planet Earth will find data glyphs like this and be able to use them to piece together what human life was like. So, you know, I'm doing my bit. Anyway, I don't know what release schedule John has got for putting these out, but basically they'll run out sooner or later, and then there won't be any more until May next year, where I'm going to basically go that way in search of London, Greater London certainly. So yeah, that's going to be I'm sort of looking forward to that week, but that week is going to present a lot of specific challenges that this frankly has in no way, shape or form prepared me for. This has been a holiday basically. I think the next week is going to be a bit of a challenge, frankly, for various reasons I've already gone into. But for now, from Margate, goodbye.